Hey there, it is Dusty Thunder with another story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for telling my dad's parents that I don't want them at my graduation when they said I wasn't their real grandson? In November, my 18 male dad's parents and my mom got into an argument because they said they decided to start a college fund for my brother, 11 male. It wasn't even brought up, they just decided to share it on their own. My mom was confused since they mentioned it out of the blue but thanked them. She asked them why they decided to make one now and why they brought it up. They said something about wanting to do it for their grandson and making sure that he's set so he doesn't have to worry about paying for college. My mom then asked if they had started one for me, and they said I wasn't their real grandson. So the answer was no, and they didn't have one for me. They added something about how I'd get something else and accused my mom of expecting too much. For context, my dad adopted me when I was 5. He started dating my mom when I was 2. I don't know my biological father personally, but I know of him. He died when I was 3, and my mom told me he wasn't a good person and was in and out of jail. My dad is the only dad I've ever known, and I've always thought that his parents accepted me. But hearing them basically say I wasn't their real grandson hurt. It wasn't even about the money. It was about the fact that I was excluded and realizing the only reason why was because I wasn't my dad's biological son. Grandparents. You know what? I waited till this moment, though, to hear that OP was saying it's not about the money. It's about them thinking that I'm not part of their family because I'm not biologically his. The argument happened right in front of me and my brother, just a few days before Thanksgiving. Since then, I've viewed my dad's parents differently and tried to keep my distance from them. They eventually apologized for saying I wasn't their real grandson, but only because my dad basically forced them to. Over time, I realized I didn't really care anymore, but I just loved them more than they loved me. School is almost back in, and I take senior pictures soon. My dad's parents were over for Christmas, and my parents brought up my taking pictures. That led to my dad's parents talking about how excited they were to see me graduate and how they couldn't wait. This confused me. It honestly did, because a month ago, they basically told me I wasn't their real grandson, and now they're excited to see their grandson graduate? I told them that they weren't coming, and that I didn't want them there. Of course, this shocked my parents and my dad's parents. They asked why, and I told them that I remember them saying I wasn't their real grandson, so it doesn't make sense for them to want to come to my graduation when they have no ties to me. My dad looked upset, and his parents were too. His parents basically said that I should move on since they already apologized and meant no harm. I told them that when they apologized, it was only because my dad told them to. After that, it got awkward. This happened during Christmas, and I haven't seen them since. My dad told me they're hurt by what I said and that I should apologize and let them know that I didn't mean it and I'd still like them to come. I told him I meant what I said and that I don't want them there. It's not like I could stop them from coming anyway, but I'd prefer if they didn't since they have no reason to be there. He says their feelings are hurt. It's honestly embarrassing to think that they've been my grandparents my whole life, only to find out they didn't even think of me as their grandson. My mom says she agrees with me, but thinks I should consider my dad's feelings since this puts him in a hard position and wants everyone to be family. I'm not trying to hurt my dad, but I just don't want his parents at my graduation when I just found out that they didn't accept me. Why does everyone in your life prioritize everyone else's feelings over yours? Is it because you're adopted? You're not adopted to your mom. You're even biologically hers. And even she is like, I understand and I agree, but consider your dad's feelings. Consider your grandparents' feelings. Your dad says, no, Dad, the correct response is, you don't treat my child that way. Yeah, you said it. This is what happened. Deal with the reality of the situation.
Yes.
It's my child. I adopted this child, and adopting, by doing so, made him mine, and I am yours. So guess what? You got a new grandkid.
Accepted.
More so than that, though. Everybody else prioritizing other people's feelings over OPs just pisses me off, especially because it's his own parents. Grandparents, yeah, there gets to be some alienation there. Families are complicated, whatever. Your parents are putting the needs of others above yours. About a situation that is about you. Stemming from comments about you that hurt you. You are the only person in this whole flustercluck of a situation that has the right to be pissed. And no one will let you. Guess what? You don't need their permission. And you do get to decide who gets to come and who doesn't. Zoe, as an adoptee, if my grandparents felt that way about me, my parents would have automatically gone no contact. Yes. Thank you. And I'm so happy for you because that's what should have happened here. And our whole analogy or the guideline of it's much easier to make a decision. It's much easier to make a decision for the well-being of your child than it is for yourself. Apparently doesn't apply here. He's a child, so I guess his feelings just aren't real, Angel. Or according to the grandparents, he's adopted, so his feelings aren't real. Well, I mean, same logic thrown back at you, grandparents. You're my adoptive grandparents, so not real. Frankie J's mama, my cousin and I graduated the same high school. My dad's mom only came to see my cousin. Justin Carter said my grandma maternal hated me, but wanted the grandma treatment. Nope, no. And I bet the grandparents here are wanting the same kind of thing. I bet their social network knows that they have a grandchild getting ready to graduate and they're expecting some kind of hoorah here. Grandma's Facebook friends are expecting to see graduation photos of her standing next to you. And if she doesn't post those, there's going to be questions. Come on, Tater. I got the heat lamps on for you. Like Sonic.
I think we need a round of applause for OP and the insane backbone that he has in standing up for himself. So at some point, I feel like his parents did something right with his emotions because they did help him find himself and help him navigate this situation.
That's true.
But the dad, and I understand the place that he is in, and we've said this before, it's not easy to make a snap decision when your parents are involved, especially when they haven't done something like this. So for the dad to automatically turn on the parents, I wouldn't expect that to happen right away. But I do really wish in that moment the dad had stood up for his son. And the son gave him every opportunity to stand up for him, and the dad didn't take it. But I am going to give him the tiniest bit of a pass because I do think it's hard to stand up to your parents if it's something that you've never done. But again, I applaud OP for what he did in this situation, and I think it was absolutely correct, and I don't think that he'll ever regret standing up for himself in that way. But I agree, like every person that he's talked to since then was like, just apologize, just keep the peace. And like, there isn't peace. These people don't see me as family. They don't see me as a real grandchild, even though they've been in his life for 16 years. Like, at what point does he become real family to these people? Because I think someone who's been in my life for 16 years is going to be my family, whether they're related to me or not. Like, I just can't imagine. And we have a blended family, and our parents.
I was just thinking that
would never.
So like they became family.
Yeah.
The moment we started dating and including kids and things, it wasn't even when we got married. It was when we introduced them as part of our tribe. Yep. They were family. No questions asked.
Our parents have never deviated between children when it comes to like gifts or what they do or when they include people like, and it's, it's different. Our kids we don't have every kid with us at every moment. And so that would be the only difference. But when it comes to the love that they have for their grandkids, that does not change. And I'm super appreciative that our families view both of our children that way. But OP deserves to have his parents in his corner. Even if the dad couldn't do it in that moment, face to face with his parents, when they left and they had this conversation afterwards, the dad should have taken a moment to understand where his son was coming from and not put his parents' peace before his son's. He prioritized his parents over his son in that moment. And that is something that he'll never get to do again. And I really, really hope that he tries to make it up to him. Because this is a pivotal moment in their family. And I hope that the parents do right by their son.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hell. It does signal to how dad's family handles conflict, right?
Well, and they told him just...
People don't call people on their bullshit here, son. That's not how we do things. Damn it, Bobby.
Right. I also like how the grandparents were like, no, we've already apologized for that. So just we're going to move past it. Just because you apologize to somebody does not mean that it just goes away. Does not mean that the pain that you caused by the actions that you did, it doesn't just go away. there is time that has to take place in order for something, if they want to forgive you. And OP has chosen not to forgive the grandparents. They created a new rift, and that's the timeline.
The tree remembers what the axe forgets.
There you go.
But sometimes that tree can be turned into an axe as well. He fired back and called them on their bullshit, and they're like, oh,
there you go.
You need to apologize. And he's like, you.
My tired brain was like,
Somebody with an axe hole up in here.